Hi everyone. So for my second micro teaching assignment, I chose another activity. Yay, activities are fun, right? But this time, it's not a game. Pair work, yay. So in the vein of full transparency, I'm trying to use the assignments we work on in this class for a future oral communication ESL class that I'm planning to teach. So I'm always building my assignments on an already established syllabus. Further, I also have an already established teaching style, so most of the ways that I organize class time is very similar from one lesson to another. I usually lead with a little bit of lecture and discussion, then segue to an activity, then do a wrap up. So I've already been doing some of this. So if my lesson seems a little bit similar, that's why, because I just already have a style. So today I'm going to be teaching pronunciation again, though focusing on consonant sounds instead of vowel sounds. So that's where we're headed today. So for the setting and the methodology, same as last time. It's a non-credit prerequisite oral comm ESL course at a community college with adult learners. They're high beginner to intermediate, don't know what their L1 is. And for the methodology this time, I'm using a combination of interaction, collaboration, and just a little touch of languaculture. So I was really excited to get to expand upon a theme this time in regards to languaculture. So here we go. The objectives that I'm using this time, since this is my course learning outcome, the terminal objective for the lesson will be able for students to be able to distinguish the difference between consonants that are voiced and those that are voiceless. Some enabling objectives to get there, identify voiced and unvoiced consonant sounds. So we'll do that in the pre-task lesson part of the lesson. Practice consonant sounds aloud. We're going to do that during the lesson and during the activity, and then engage in an activity to brainstorm each of the voiced and unvoiced consonant sounds. So that's exactly what the students will be doing today or in this lesson. So the materials definitely need the whiteboard or a chalkboard, something that you can write down and kind of do a group brainstorm together, but also going to want to have a worksheet with instructions and with a consonant phonemic chart. So I have one here. For the worksheet itself, I would definitely use one that didn't have the funky pronunciation letters. I don't even know what they're called. See, I'm still learning, but I think I'm still confused by those. So I would just put like the actual, like instead of, let's see, this sound here, I would just write SH, or for this sound here, I would just write CH. You get it? Just making it more their level because this isn't even my level. So this is how I would organize it. I would have the pre-task with our discussion, a main task where we do our activity, and the post-task would be our share out. So for the pre-task discussion, some of what I would cover there would be like, as previously mentioned, I'm building on prior pronunciation knowledge, which gives me the opportunity to relate knowledge of vowels, that all vowels are voiced, to consonants, which some are voiced and some aren't. So that way I'm kind of building in that preview, view, and review that Dr. Lima told us is really important when we're constructing a lesson. That's also something that's important in public speaking. It's actually called the Aristotle triptych or the Aristotelian triptych, something like that, but that's that whole tell them what you're going to tell them, then tell them what you told them. So it's fun to build on knowledge from my current classroom and bring it into this the new ESL classroom, new to me. So yeah, I'll go over the voice sounds, the unvoiced sounds, how to put your hand to your throat so you can tell the difference when you're using some of those voiced consonants versus the unvoiced ones. That's like a great tactile way that students would be able to figure that out too. I'll say them out loud, they'll repeat after me, we'll talk about each one, and then we'll do the main task activity. I just want to cover the post task. So the post task, after they've worked in groups for their main activity, then they would get together and share what they've brainstormed. So let me tell you a little bit more about what I'm going to have them brainstorm. So as my transition between the lesson and the activity, it's my intent to share a little bit about spring in the US and kind of some of the holidays we celebrate. You know, you see the Easter Bunny, there's Easter eggs, we're talking about the resurrection of Christ, depending on how deep you go into the whole Easter thing, or even Passover, the deliverance of the Jewish people from Egypt. So give a little bit of history on each of those elements there, just to have kind of a fun theme to think about, but also that would relate directly to our activity. So for the activity, this is my idea for my worksheet. I would have them get into pairs, and then while they're in pairs, they're going to brainstorm words associated with spring, Easter, and Passover. But the catch is that they need to identify at least one word for each unvoiced consonant sound and for each voiced consonant sound. So I've got a little chart made up here. Told you I was going to use the actual letters instead of those pronunciation symbols. So to me, it seemed like it was something fun. This might be a little bit ambitious for like 20 to 30 minutes of activity time. And of course, I'd go around and check in with them and see how they're doing. Let them use technology if they wanted to, because I know they're probably going to need to look up a few words. I even was a little bit hard pressed when I was trying to come up with this. So I did this myself where I was like, okay, so what words could I come up with? So this is what I was able to brainstorm on my own after 20 minutes or so yesterday. So I didn't fill it. So I don't expect them to completely finish the chart, but just give them some of that, that creation energy that they can use to really feel like they came up with something and learned something. They're going to learn it more. If I just told them like, oh, here's the Easter bunny, this sort of thing, I think they're going to get more from it if they come up with it on their own. So it gets them collaborating and speaking in front of one another. It gives them pronunciation practice. It gives them practice to differentiate the different consonant sounds and versus vowel sounds that we'd already covered. And this helps them learn a little bit more about spring in the US. And this could easily be adapted to be, at any season. I could use this to brainstorm vocabulary about fall, Halloween, that sort of thing. So I think it would be really fun. I came up with this on my own, so I'm really extra excited about it. I didn't use something that I'd already found on the internet. So I'm hoping that this will be a really cool thing to use in the future. A big issue or drawback that I would really see would be if a large crowd, not everyone would be able to share out at the end. But while they're sharing out at the end, I could be writing and compiling a master list so they can just, once we get to the different pairs, they can share what hasn't already been shared. And I think it would just be a fun way to do this. So hopefully we wouldn't run out of time. If we did, we could just kind of recap at the next part of the class period. So that's my activity. I'm hoping that you guys enjoyed it, and I really look forward to your feedback and watching your presentations too.